Jay's got his run in the point of the top 5 storylines of the NBA Finals.
Let's do it, Yates. There we go, number 5. Look, people are going to talk about Stephen Curry, his legacy. Horrible. Let's not do that, please. Let's talk about basketball. Let's talk about breakdowns. And let's give Klay Thompson a lot of love. One of the most understated stories in all of sports. The guy didn't play basketball for 940 days. Oof. He's had a torn ACL, a torn Achilles, and now here we are in June, finding himself back in his 6th straight NBA Finals. Did you hear me? 6 straight NBA Finals. Has he lost a little bit of a step? Yes, because I'm a basketball guy who plays basketball at a very high level, slightly, but to the common eye, you would never see it. The fact that he is still a primary defender, the fact that he can still shoot that thing and do things off the dribble, kudos to you, Klay Thompson. Cheers to you, my brother. Keep thriving and having a successful NBA Finals. Next up, I'm getting emotional.
At 4.
Number 4, Smart versus Curry. Did you know that over 8 years, Marcus Smart, as a primary defender, has held Stephen Curry to 29% shooting overall? Wow. There's a guy next to me named Max Kellerman who every single day I hear about Stephen Curry and about doing it in the biggest moments. Well, if you are a person on that side of the fight, you are going to pay attention to the fact that Marcus Smart has held Stephen Curry to 29% shooting over the last 8 years. And you're going to pay attention to that matchup because you want to see Stephen Curry, who's averaging 27 points pretty much in the NBA Finals, be Stephen Curry with that shot, boy. You want to see it. And we're going to get a chance to see it coming up. Next up.
At 3.
Celtics 18th title. So look, LeBron James said something the other day, and yeah, I'm finding a way to bring LeBron James into the conversation. You may not like it, but I don't care. LeBron James 6 years ago said, you put my mother on the floor. If she were to wear a Boston Celtics uniform, I want to break her face. This rivalry is so real. And the fact that Bron is at home watching this Celtics team have a chance to go for their 18th world championship, let's not act like that's not a massive story. And Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, this is a core that's going to be around for a long time. Let's get used to talking about the Boston Celtics once again being in the championship conversation. Next up.
At 2.
So Ime Udoka. Let's talk about teams like Detroit, teams like Indiana, teams like Cleveland that all passed over him. Let's talk about the coaching tree he comes from. Greg Popovich, he was with the 76ers. He was across the East River with the Brooklyn Nets. And now he has the Celtics, and he's trying to become the first-year head coach in the past 8 seasons to win a title, to put his name in the same conversation with Steve Kerr, Ty Lue, and Nick Nurse. That is the trajectory of where Ime Udoka is going as a first-year head coach in the NBA. Cheers to you, Ime. Next up.
And running point.
The golden opportunity. This blew my mind last night coming back from the Rangers game, reading this because I never thought it. Golden opportunity, Max and Key. Seeking their 4th NBA championship in 8 seasons and 7th overall for the Golden State Warriors. If they were to get their 7th overall, they would pass the Chicago Bulls for sole possession of 3rd place all time for NBA championships, only behind the Lakers and the Celtics. You talk about dynasties. Oh, that's going to start to be a conversation if these dudes get it done. We're going to start talking about Draymond Green, Stephen Curry, and Klay Thompson. We can talk about it, like MJ, Scotty, Dennis Rodman, those trios of the best. You're going to start mentioning their name in that conversation.
The Progressive NBA Snapshot brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Insurance for motorcycles, boats, and RVs for protection on the road and on the water. See how much you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
That conversation is not already?
Well, you would say that because Jordan got 6, right? Like they got 6, like Steph, Klay, and Draymond. This would have been their 4th. But still, as a franchise, history of the franchise, it kind of ignites or starts the conversation.
I guess
there's still a lot more work for them to do.
Yeah.
It talks about it to a degree.
No, I think from the individual standpoint, as players, not the franchise, so to speak, as players, though, they will have had 4. Now they've got 3. It's almost like the conversation is already started on, when you got 3, that's a lot,
Well,
right?
MJ, Scotty, and Dennis got 3 in 3 years, which was
And MJ,
absurd.
Grant, and Pippen got 3 in 3 years.
I understand the years
MJ,
part of it.
Scotty, and Grant got 3 in 3 years, and then Horace Grant. And then MJ, Scotty, and Dennis got 3 in 3 years.
I guess
yeah.
3 years
Grant,
is
too, the first.
obviously great, but to have 3, I don't give a damn when you got them.
I hear you.
That's a lot.
Yeah, no,
There's
I'm
not
with you.
a lot of dudes walking around with NBA jackets on
Yeah.
that got 3 world championships.
No,
Then
they,
it's
most
6
got 0.
Then it's the 6 NBA finals in 8 years. And then you start thinking about the 2 times that they didn't get it. They could have gotten
Look,
it.
your last point on the Warriors is interesting, and we're going to talk about the Celtics a little later in the show and what that, because with Warriors getting 7 championships, you go, oh, but they're so far behind the Lakers and Celtics.
Well, it is a long ways.
But when I was a kid,
crazy,
just to
right?
let you know how this
10.
happens, when I was a kid, the Celtics were on 13 and the Lakers were on like 6, and they were never going to catch the Celtics. So the Celtics were more than double them, right? And here we are. A bunch of decades later, they're both sitting on 17. We're going to get into what it would mean for the Celtics to win their 18th a little later in the show. But guys, listen to Jason Tatum talk about the Warriors and what they have on that team right now.
They got, 2 of the best shooters of all time, and, they move the ball well and feed off each other. So we got to make it as tough as possible and, make sure nothing is easy, because if it's easy, it's going to be a tough time.
Jay, you brought up something I think we should talk about right now, which is Steph Curry and Marcus Smart, right? You've convinced me that it's not Steph or Tatum, but Marcus Smart, who's the most important player in this series. And we could talk about why, because on the offensive end, in addition to being fatigued, because he's going to have to chase Curry all around.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.